On 91.7 ABC Gold Coast, have you ever heard of mixed martial arts or cage fighting? You are about to meet a couple of Gold Coasters who put their body on the line for one of the toughest reality TV shows in the world, described as Big Brother with bloodshed. Really? And some great backstories too on these members. They're actually heading overseas to represent Australia. And I think of half a dozen Australians, we've got two of them here on the Gold Coast. So it's wonderful to see such talent. But we'll find out more about this sport and the men who choose to be part of it, and also from their coach. So three very interesting men in just a tick. On 91.7 ABC Gold Coast, it has been described as the toughest reality TV show in the world. You may know it. It's called The Ultimate Fighter. It has a cult following. It is filmed in the US, and you are about to meet two Gold Coasters who not only made it onto the show, but that show also catapulted them into the UFC. Dylan Andrews and Benny Alloway with their coach, Vincent Perry. Vincent,
Hi,
Benny, Dylan, hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Mixed martial arts. Now, I'm going to be really upfront. I don't know much about mixed martial arts. I did a bit of Wing Chun or something when I was about 20. That's about it from me. So Vincent, when someone says, what is this? What is this mixed martial arts? How do you describe it?
Well, I describe it as a combination of wrestling, kickboxing, boxing and submission fighting, which is like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So it's like a triathlon.
Yeah. And what would a training regime be this close to competition? And tell us about this competition the boys are about to head off to.
Well, it's a UFC, so it's the pinnacle of the MMA, mixed martial arts. It's in America. They're flying to Denver and then on to Indianapolis. There's just so much training. They've got to work their hands like a boxer. They've got to work their kickboxing, their knees, elbows. They've got to work their grappling, their wrestling, their submission fighting. So, got to work arm bars, chokes, defences. So
yeah,
a lot of conditioning.
I lift a few weights to.
Oh yeah, Benny does.
The muscles good for the scales.
I can see
Benny
your
does
forearms.
weights
He
as
does
well.
do a few weights. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're all into strength as well. You've got to have all aspects of your, physical. And
Dylan, courtesy of Vincent, I actually saw a clip of you on New Zealand TV. You've got family over in New Zealand. What's your story? To start off with yourself? How did you get into mixed martial arts?
I got in I was like a lot of people. I think I was a fan first of the sport, and when I moved to Australia, before that I was just watching UFC on videos, VHS videos, and there was nowhere really to train in New Zealand. So when I moved to Australia, late 2002. It wasn't until about 2005 that I had the opportunity to start training. I found a gym, and then, I just progressed as I trained more and more. I found that I was getting more ready to fight, more ready to, take the next step. So I just did it, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah. And you've got a young family, as do you, Ben. So it must be tough doing the travelling, and the training is pretty intense. Firstly, how did you get into it?
I was actually coming back from injury from playing soccer. I used to play soccer professionally, and then I tried jiu-jitsu to get back into shape. I was a little bit heavy at the time, and I went to a fight, watched it, and then 4 weeks later I thought I'm going to have a fight, so I jumped in there. About 4 or 5 weeks after training, and sort of got addicted to the adrenaline. And
is it addictive? Is that part of the drive, as well as the will to win?
Yeah, I mean, I think in nature, I know in my nature, I'm very competitive by nature, so anything I do, I don't want to lose, and I want to win everything I do. So, I mean, whether it's fighting or, whether it's playing
COD,
Call of Duty.
Right. Sorry, there's a code. I didn't know there was a code. Tell us about the reality TV show, because that's bigger than Ben-Hur, but here in Australia, a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
It's like you go into a house, don't you, if you make the final and you're with all the other Ultimate Fighters, and you were in the final, was it 14, Dylan, or 12?
4.
4.
Yeah. Well, the reality-based TV show, The Ultimate Fighter, is very similar to, I guess the easiest way to explain it to people is it's sort of like Big Brother, but the way you're eliminated is by fighting, competing against another another team, you know. So that's how that works. You know, you're in a house for 6 weeks, and each week someone's eliminated by fighting. So
It is a really violent to watch it. It looks really violent. Do you have much protection on yourselves, around your head?
Just a mouthpiece and a cup. You know,
Wow.
teeth and my groin, most important things to me anyway.
And okay, not arguing there. What about injuries you've sustained through this sport? Have there been a few?
Oh, I was a late starter, so I really didn't have too many major injuries. I've only been competing, 3.5 years now. So I had a couple of niggles lately, but I've been pretty lucky. Like Dill's been fighting a lot longer, so.
So Dylan, what about you?
But the same. I haven't sustained a lot of injuries from fights. I haven't been. When I have lost a fight, it hasn't been by any brutal knockout or anything like that. So my body is fine. I'm good to go. At 33, I still feel fresh.
Wow.
It's fairly well regulated these days too, Nicole. So,
yeah. Okay.
If there is injuries or anything like that, they'll stop it fairly quickly. And also, if there's concussion or anything like that, there'll be weeks before they can fight again. And so.
Vincent, can you contextualise for us how big a deal this competition is that both Dylan and Ben are heading over to in just days?
Well, it's a big competition. It is the pinnacle of the sport. Both Ben and Dylan, or both Dylan and Ben went through via the Ultimate Fighter. And it's a show that gets, screened all over the world. I mean, I don't know how many countries, but it'd be in the hundreds, 140 countries or something like that.
Were you a bit of a rock star after making the top four, when you went back to New Zealand?
I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but
I think he was.
When I went to...
I'm Nolan.
Yeah, well, I wasn't... Benny fought over in Sweden around the same time as Dylan fought in Las Vegas, so I wasn't able to go with Ben, but I went with Dylan, and walking around Las Vegas everyone wants photos of him and stuff like that. He was one of the favourites from the show, so... and they love this sport.
I didn't see the end of the show. How close did you get?
Well,
not close enough.
Not close enough.
He over there too. The Americans, they love success.
Yeah.
They really, really rejoice in somebody. And Dylan, like the Aussies or Kiwis, is fairly understated usually in how they approach those sorts of shows. So he wasn't talking himself up, and they really appreciated that. And there was a lot of people would stop us and say, my grandmother liked you, my kids like you, so. He was one of their favourites.
Oh, it's great to be, your nan's favourite. I think it's wonderful. Well, best of luck to both of you. I know you're leaving young families behind. I know it must be tough when you're competing, but good luck. Fingers and toes crossed. Dylan Andrews and Benny Alloway, and of course Coach Vincent Perry, mixed martial arts. I'm going to play. Yes, Vincent's looking at me going, "Play my song,
yeah,
play my
song."
Play my song. Listen, now tell me,
I'm
going to start playing it, and you give me a bit of a rundown as to why I'm playing it, Vincent. Here's the song.
Yeah, Benny's going to have this song as his walkout song. So it's something I wrote over the last few years, and he said,
You wrote it for me, right?
No, I didn't write it for you, Benny.
Dang it.
Okay, and it's called Your Call. It's about making the most of your life and being positive. So.
And this one's for you.
Darkness before day. Turn off the music, turn your light. Get on your way. And always hard tonight. Bloody fist fights. Hey Eugene, are you alright? He said I'm okay now, I've got a cut on my brow, the same place I had one before. Yesterday's gone, let's find the right and the wrong. At the end of the day, it's your call. It's your call. It's a Sunday open mic. Johnny's playing Paul. It's sounding alright. Those day tripper chords. Sings his heart song. Laugh and live strong. Find your place to belong. Throw your fist in the air. Live a life without fear. Shout like never before. Believe that you can. Your life's in your hands. At the end of the day, it's your call. It's your call. Well, I've tried to tread softly, but sometimes when running fast, I I've not always travelled gently toward things that never last. I've traded time for money and trying to build a dream. What I've learnt on this journey, success is fragile it seems. But if you're here and it's now, stand tall, don't you cower. Your voice, I want to hear more. Celebrate this time, never again with a chime. It's your day, it's your life, it's your call.